Hi everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. I'm here with Jay Lakhani. I'm just going to let Jay Bhai introduce himself first before we go into our discussion. So Jay Bhai, for the viewers, please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Jay Lakhani. My background, my qualification is theoretical physics, and my love is the deeper vision of Hinduism.
A deeper vision of Hinduism. I like the sound of that. So, Jay Lakhani, I got in touch with Jay Bhai a little while ago with regards to a lot of my campaigning that I do amongst the Hindu community. And Jay Bhai, I spoke to you a little bit about the realities of the dairy industry and why I feel it's so important for Hindus to become more aware of what these realities are. Because on the one hand, we revere and respect the cow, we see her as Gomata, and then on the other hand, many Hindus are actually really unaware of what the realities are of commercial dairy. And I know that because I was also one of those unaware Hindus. What is your view on, firstly, the cruelties associated with the dairy industry?
Okay, first of all, let me just say, see, we Hindus have been brought up on milk and makhan and yogurt and ghee and so on. So we think that look, it was a very endearing thing. We were kind of using all this kind of byproducts of milk for our so many generations. Since the time of Krishna, it was a very popular thing to have, and we kind of reveled in it. So you might ask, how come what appeared like a sensible kind of system suddenly turned into this very horrendous situation today, where the poor cows are artificially inseminated, the calves that are born are slaughtered, and the milk is stolen for the betterment of humanity. What has gone wrong?
Yeah.
This is the real question. The answer is this. It is understandable that living things kind of rely on each other, the symbiosis. So the way we started was symbiosis. We had the gentle cow in the family, and some of the milk was given to the calf, and some of the extra milk was used by human beings.
Right.
This is how it started. So it was quite a straightforward symbiosis. Cows living in harmony with human beings, human beings looking after the cows during the winter period, giving them feed and so on, and the cow in return, apart from giving calves, they were also giving extra milk.
So there was this kind of interdependency, symbiosis.
But then somehow, this is what happens with humanity. Things get out of control, and we don't, if you like, we kind of, wander into this kind of nightmare situation where these calves are slaughtered just in order to extract more milk out of the poor cows. This is the situation we face. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And it is horrendous, and majority of Hindus are not even aware of it.
No.
That's quite right.
And I suppose the big difference would be, would you agree that most Hindus who come from the East, from India, Africa, we were aware of a time, or perhaps we had experienced a time when, like you said, the cow was very much a member of the family. The calf would be allowed to drink from the mother's milk. Although I've had stories, I've had people tell me stories of them being brought up in these villages as a child, and they remember that the calf was removed from the mother because the parents were afraid that there wasn't enough milk to feed the family. And so this idea of taking the cow, the mother's milk, another mammal's milk, even in the East there were these signs, these hints, these issues of not allowing the calf to drink milk. And then we've come to the West, where of course, the farmers are not Hindus, they don't carry the same Hindu values that we do. They certainly don't see the cow as a mother, hence the artificial insemination, the separation of calves. So what would you, you're obviously very aware of the realities.
I think
what would you tell Hindus?
The resolution would be this, two ways. First of all, the younger generation are very quick to catch on to these ideas and very quickly turn to veganism. It's understandable. They will catch on, and there are quite a few that I meet who are becoming vegan for this reason.
Right.
The second thing we can perhaps address, or human beings can address, is through education, make everybody aware, not just the Hindus, but everyone aware that something very horrendous is going on. Just by making them aware, what might happen is that you might improve the dairy farming method. You might say, okay, instead of slaughtering, so many calves, let most of the calves continue to exist and produce more milk for us. So rather than keep slaughtering the calves, let there be greater cow population, so there is more milk to go around, and reduce the amount of milk the human beings use and make sure that there is enough milk for the calves to survive.
Okay,
So,
so-
that just kind of symbiosis had to be readdressed.
Right.
So what has gone wrong, let us
Right.
try and address it and make it kind of more balanced.
So
That's
what about the issue then with the dairy industry? Basically, I think from the last time I looked, is approximately worth about £6 billion to the UK economy, and would they consider a more, if you can call it a humane form of dairy abstraction? I don't personally think they would. And also I feel that we're living in a day and age now where there's such an abundance of plant-based milk, almond milk, oat milk, soya milk.
Sure.
If we really revere and respect the cow, why don't we
Switch.
treat her as really like our mother, rather than constantly asking her to give us things? Like,
Yes.
we live in a day and age, we
Sure.
never had almond milk,
See,
oat milk before.
Everything has to evolve, and these are kind of new issues that are now arising.
Yeah.
In olden days, we didn't have all this extra kind of different kind of milk, so
Right.
now we have that available. And if, for example, the new generation especially take to this idea, in fact, it is true. As you can see, there's a lot of sales of dairy
Plant-based
milk,
milks, yeah.
in the supermarkets
Yeah.
now. So it is happening naturally. Let us promote that. That is a good idea for people to kind of switch.
Yeah, even
And-
for health reasons.
Yeah. So it may be worthwhile. We are in a state of evolution, but we have actually walked into a nightmare situation at
Right.
the moment. I fully agree. It has to be addressed. And I said the address is, and suppose you said we want to fight the commercial lobby, £6 billion industry.
Yeah.
It's going to be impossible.
Right.
The commercial forces are very severe.
Well,
don't
they're
give
just coming stronger because
Yeah.
they see the rise in veganism. The dairy industry
They
is
see the-
spending
the
more
threat
money on
as a threat,
marketing,
as a threat.
right?
The other thing is this. You see, even though they are very strong, if you can educate the public, I'm
Yeah.
not just talking about Hindu public,
Everyone,
general
yes.
public, that something is gone seriously wrong.
Yeah.
The idea was good initially, but it has gone seriously wrong because in a way, look, the cow and cow's milk have been a major nourishment for humanity for nearly 10,000 years. In fact, when I praise the cow, this is what I say. I say, it is only when we discovered this gentle domestic animal called the cow about 10,000 years ago in the human history that human beings stopped being kind of hunter-gatherers rushing around murdering animals and eating them and settled down, started farming and become more civilized, developed language and civilized. So the cow has been a major support, and because
Right.
of the milk,
Yeah.
because that allowed them to wait for the crops to grow and
Yeah.
survive on the milk.
Right.
So there was a kind of interesting symbiosis going
Yeah.
on. And in return, of course, we were looking after the cow in the winter period, we were tending it, looking after it, protecting it. So it has been a very good system, but it has gone out of
So
control.
the relationship we once had was
It's damaged.
extremely damaged, and now what we're left with is a product that comes from immense suffering of the cow.
It's
but
not acceptable.
also, what was once perhaps a nutritious product, milk, the way it's being produced now, the suffering that the cow goes through, the constant artificial insemination, the dioxins within the milk, the potential carcinogens found in the milk, even the fact that we have to pasteurize milk before it can be sold, in itself shows that the milk is no longer pure or healthy of what it once was. In fact, there are so many scientific studies now showing that dairy products have IGF-1 insulin growth factor that links to cancer. There's the issue about leaching of calcium from our bones. This is all linked to dairy. So what once was no longer
Useful.
is.
Yes,
Right.
it's no longer.
Right.
See, humanity continues to evolve and find different ways of surviving,
Yeah.
perhaps doing a better job to produce better health. So it is an ongoing situation. And as you quite rightly say, and through the social media, you see, it's through this kind of educating the general public that look, something has gone seriously wrong, and we have got other options at the moment.
Yeah.
Let us fall back on those
Right.
rather than continue to, there's a lovely saying, don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg.
Right.
So we are kind of overstretching the poor cow.
Yeah.
We had this already in UK. You see, the largest number of the biggest animal sacrifice that took place on the surface of the earth was in United Kingdom. You may be surprised. This happened with the mad cow disease.
Right,
And again, the
absolutely.
same thing.
Yeah.
The commercial element was so keen to fatten up the cows,
Yeah.
they were feeding it animals.
them animals.
And
yeah.
that is how we got the mad cow
Absolutely.
disease. So you see, human beings have a habit of killing the goose that is laying the golden egg. So they've done it once here already.
Right, and
So hopefully-
constantly, damaging and exploiting you know,
A gentle
innocent-
animal, a
innocent
gentle animal, a
beings.
lovely animal. I agree,
Right.
absolutely.
Right. So, I mean, you know, just finishing off then, what would be your last message to Hindus or to anybody watching this video, knowing that the realities of the dairy industry are pretty much cruel, they're akin to the beef industry. The beef and dairy
They're
industry
connected.
they are connected.
They're very strong connected. In fact,
Right.
again, one other thing that can happen is we hope that not just dairy products people kind of move away from, also beef or eating meat
Absolutely.
is equally bad.
Absolutely.
They're kind of intertwined,
Right.
interrelated. So
Right.
to kind of promote vegetarianism, promote veganism, but again, Dina, let me tell you, let it happen in a much more natural manner rather than a forceful manner.
Mhm.
Don't impose these things, because the reason is this: human beings are very intelligent, and provided you give them chance to think for themselves, they will come to the same conclusion.
Mhm.
But one thing I must say about you, Dina, I'm very pleased to have met you, because you come with so much passion, and it's a very genuine, real love for the animal kingdom that you are doing all this work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So there you have it, guys. We've got Jay Lakhani. He has quite clearly said that, you know, the dairy industry is extremely cruel, and we really ought to, as Hindus and non-Hindus, as just human beings, compassionate human beings, we really ought to be looking at alternatives that are abundantly available. And the situation that once existed, where we had a cow that was part of our family and we treated it well, and I put in brackets, that didn't always happen even then, but you know, we're not in that situation now. So, you know, really ought to be considering plant-based options that are abundantly available to help the planet, to help your health, and of course, most importantly, to help the suffering of these animals. So thank you so much, Jay.
Pleasure, real pleasure.
Thank you.